Okay, now I just want to touch real quick on this thing I had to do this morning. I had to make a statement from the desk of the Independent Press Gallery this morning. Why? The Liberals continued their absolute insane treatment of the independent press in this country. The Independent Press Gallery condemns the actions of Thomas Keeper, the Liberal candidate in Calgary Confederation. Now, Calgary Confederation, the Liberals might win it. Anyways, he called the police and made false statements about an independent journalist attempting to ask legitimate questions during the federal election campaign. On March 24th, the Juno News reporter, Cian Bexty, approached Keeper outside of his campaign office. It's not like he was at his house. He was at the campaign office. Where are you supposed to find politicians during the campaign? To deliver a set of written questions regarding serious allegations. The entire interaction was recorded on hidden camera. The footage shows Bexty remaining calm and professional throughout the exchange. Despite the peaceful encounter, Keeper called police and falsely claimed the journalist had got physical with him, an accusation that is completely contradicted by the unedited video evidence. According to Juno News, the police were told this fabrication was the basis for pursuing a restraining order against the reporter. This is a clear attempt to misuse law enforcement as a tool to silence political scrutiny and chill press freedom. It is unacceptable for any candidate for public office to weaponize false allegations against journalists simply because they do not want to answer uncomfortable questions. This is part of a growing pattern of hostility toward independent media by Liberal politicians who refuse to engage with reporters outside of the government-subsidized press corps. Journalists have a duty to hold power to account, especially during elections. Politicians who run for office must be prepared to face scrutiny, not call the police when it arrives. The IPG calls on the Liberal Party of Canada to immediately disavow Thomas Keeper's actions and to clarify whether this tactic of suppressing journalism is sanctioned by the party. Signed, Sheila Gunn, Reid, Independent Press Gallery of Canada. In my role as the president of the Independent Press Gallery, I have to take sort of an interrogative approach, but Sheila Gunn Reid of Rebel News says this is absolutely a pattern of dealing with independent press by the Liberal Party, as evidenced by the times that Mark Carney keeps calling the cops on independent journalists.
In a serious country, this candidate would no longer be the candidate if it was
he would
found.
Be charged.
Oh, without question. Misappropriation of police resources, false allegations
statement. Of course, filing a false statement.
This is insane. But what's really interesting about this story that caught my attention is that Cian Bexty of Juno News says that he was trying to get him to answer some questions about serious allegations. And that is the story that we must pay attention to, because Cian Bexty tried to get in contact with Thomas Keeper, the Liberal candidate for Calgary Confederation, by email, by text, by phone call, and was ignored. So this was the last kick at the can for Cian, right? You are allowed as a journalist to stand on a sidewalk and ask pointed questions of people who are asking for your votes, okay? And it to be suspect to anybody in Canada who sees a guy that reacts like this. Watch him, is going to run. Whoop, look at him. This is a man that has something to obviously hide. And we are going to pay attention to the allegations that Cian Bexty says he was trying to ask questions about. But again, in everyday world, this man would no longer be a candidate. He would be turfed by the party. But this is the Liberal Party of Canada who has no scruples whatsoever.
Well, and I don't know if you could see there, they were also recording the interaction. So they have proof of their own lies on their side. I hope the police go and get that. But further to responsible journalism, before you run a serious allegation against a member of, public office or anything like that, responsible journalism, and to make your journalism defamation proof, and you'll see us do this all the time. As I say to our journalists, give yourself time to be subsequently ignored by the subject of your investigation, because by and large, they never get back to you. But if you are ever accused of libel or defamation, you can say, I reached out, I gave them 24 hours to get back to me. They didn't even respond to me. So Cian is going to run something that is of such serious consequence that not only he emailed, but he went in person to hand deliver written questions before he runs his story. That is responsible journalism that he's trying to do to make his work bulletproof from litigation. And Thomas Keeper made false statements to the police, and the cops showed up instead of just taking the piece of paper and answering the questions. If you have nothing to hide, answer the questions.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, no, this is a man that's got something to hide, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be really interesting to see what that is. But thank God Cian Bexte had a hidden camera on him. This is where we're at in Canada with journalism. And this is where we're at with our our once high trust Canadian society is you can't do anything without proof, because they will bury you. They will use lawfare against you. And thank God he has that video evidence to be able to buck this, because Thomas Keeper is asking for a restraining order against Cian Bexte, a restraining order. So I mean, I'm just going to be watching this real closely, and we'll be able to keep you guys in the loop on any developments.
Oh, hi, it's Ezra Levant here in Toronto with an important message, because we need your help. Independent journalism in Canada is under attack. Government censors, big tech deplatformers, and the dying legacy media are all working together to maintain exclusive control on the information you receive. They don't want you to hear other voices like ours, and they really don't want you to be informed and to think for yourself. That's why the work we do here at Rebel News is so important. Our on-the-ground reporting, independent news shows, and special content you won't find anywhere else. It's all designed to give you trustworthy information and alternative viewpoints so you can decide for yourself. We don't get government money, and we are not owned by some big global conglomerate. We're funded by people just like you, so please support independent journalism and help us continue our work by subscribing and becoming a Rebel News Plus member today, right here on the page. Go to rebelnewsplus.com.